Prem Solo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Sitaram and cordial welcome to everybody viewing this evening. This evening we continue here at the Sri Krishna Seva Ashram, where I, Keshava Gosine, and team, we've been endeavoring into Ramayan Katha, Ramayan Yagya virtual, so that people all over the world, those of you in your jobs, those of you in different situations and couldn't be here physically, we wanted to reach the Ramayan home to you. Why are we doing this? We're doing it in lieu with the call that was made due to the global Diwali that's happening in January this year. Some pundits are saying, some people are saying it's a little confusing when we use that word Diwali, because there are children that would say, well, I know Diwali is in later part of the year. At a simple explanation, Diwali is defined as the returning, in one way, the return of Sri Ram from bringing Sita Mata back home historically. So people lit their diyas. But this year, with the inauguration of the Ram Janam Bhoomi Mandir that is happening in Ayodhya, India, North India, in reality, this temple was destroyed by the Mughal dynasty in, many years ago. I believe the actual year was 1528. And now, after 500 and odd years, the temple is being rebuilt, and it is time for the establishment. I'm sure you've seen the videos where the ladies are toting all the Ganga Jal and they're getting ready to bathe this Murti. The yantra, last week when we were doing here, we talked about how they would put the yantra under the Murti and you would never see it again. So for those of us who have whether it's to look at it with our physical eyes in India, I know many people are making the tirat, or for like you and me who will watch it online, we still get to visualize this moment, this Murti after today, after this day on the 22nd of January, it will never be moved again. So there was a call to the global Hindu circle. Let's do Ramayana, let's do Yagya, let's do his puja, let's do all of these things. So in the run-up to this moment, we from South Trinidad in the Ashram here in Princess Town, we did three, this is our third Yagya, 3 nights Yagya, dealing with different topics. And we've been on different social media as well as Sankhya TV. Tonight beginning our third Yagya, first night. Tonight we continue in that fashion, and we thank all those that are making this possible, those people that are helping us to be on Sankhya television. Tonight we acknowledge them and we pray that God bless them. Further, we pray for the staff of Sankhya television as they continue to do their Seva in helping stretch and spread the word of our Dharma. Tonight we enter into Tulsidas Ramayan. We've done Valmiki, we've done Kritibasi. In different moments I've read, different Anand Ramayan, etc. But I wanted to touch on Kag-bhusundi. Kag-bhusundi is a character. Kag means, in some texts they say kak, but people get that word mixed up with kaka. When they read the English, like I have a kaka and a kaki. So one of the questions I did receive from a godchild was, are they saying uncle when you hear kaki and kaka? Is it kaka like that kind of kaka? The correct word is actually, you hear kak, you hear kag, to stretch the word for you to understand. And that word translates into crow. This is individual, is a crow. So it is an interesting discourse, and these 3 nights are focused on this one central figure. If our endeavor has to have a purpose, our purpose must be to better ourselves by listening to the glory of Prabhu. I've stressed it many times in the dissertation, in the revelation, in the narrating of Ramayana and our text. It is supposed to be pure. It is supposed to be the teachings of the text that is there. The story, the history, the teachings, the words, literal, inverted commas, those type of moments where Prabhu Ram is speaking, where his glory is being given, and not to be in any way affected by the orator opinion, my opinion. So I have been trying to give Ramayana in the purest form so that the person listening would be able to absorb and learn and accept Prabhu in their mandir. We are preparing for big man-made mandir in India, as I said before. But we have to accept Sri Ram in your heart first. Otherwise, a mandir might have the blessed marble. It might have the biggest, prettiest dome or roof, but it is of no use to you and I if the God is not activated within us. And this is where I have reached to this discourse. We have looked at the historical figures of Jatayu and Sampati. We looked at what happens to Dashrath in his journey, his growth, how God has a way of pulling and pushing you, testing your merit, your earnest in your vows, your promise. You're going to say, when I turn 60, for example, I will do such and such prayers. But then other things take precedent, and the prayers, the promises, out the door. Discourse starting from tonight, going on for the next couple of nights, we're going to focus on Kag-bhusundi. And the katha that unfolds, we enter with Mahadev Baba is talking, and we are going to pay attention to our first vital word for all the children looking on. And parents, if you're watching me tonight with your children, please, let me just talk a little second about doubt. In many satsang you will hear a lot about faith. You have to have faith. You must have faith. You must believe in what you're doing. And I think everybody understands that. You must have some, some energy in the prayers, the offering, chant and perfume, the sharing food, the sharing parasat. You must have some. You're doing job, Shivratri coming, Naratam coming, I'm going to offer Medar. In any example you choose, rocking the hammock, doing the yag, I have to have some belief. And we'll hear about that in this journey that we're about to embark on. When you have doubt, how doubt breaks faith, how does it link up? What is the chronological order? What does faith have to do with blessing? And if a person doesn't have clear vision, then we must and I'm bringing this to your attention at this point, because I want to ask it in a way. Tonight you're looking at me, you're the Sanatanist, you're the Hindu. And if somebody say, well, you have faith in Sri Ram. Yes, man, I love to hear that Ramayana. What do you know about Sri Ram? What do you know about your Ramayana? And what do you believe in? In the first Yagya, we were talking about how long ago people used to know their Ramayana, how the story went, the innards of the text. And as we are dealing with a shortened lifespan, shortened attention span, people are focusing less on our text and they are getting distracted by many things. And we must make endeavor to hold as best as we could. Otherwise, our families are going to fall apart. People are going to lose faith, because what to believe in? Because if we do not believe in the correct thing, or if I'm mistaken, then I might be making a mistake and I do not know, I do not realize. Tonight, we endeavor into our discourse to get a little knowledge about our Prabhu, our Sri Ram. We sing his glory, we sing his name, we chant his name. This is what we've gathered together for. Tonight, as you join with me on Facebook, if you are watching me on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like and follow on Facebook. Share your satsang for somebody else. If you're home and you're watching me on Zankia, take up your phone. We take up phone to gossip and, oh, Prabhu, you name it. Call your friend, your family, and say, hey, look, satsang going on. Your Baba looking for you. Please join with us as we are about to start. Tonight, I want you to pay attention to this word, doubt. Doubt. Because sometimes when we think we know God, we're not there yet. Sometimes when test is happening, it's happening, and I feel like I'm not getting through, and not happening the way I would like it to happen. Why these things happen? Tonight, if you have doubts, and this is where, we're not getting distracted by the music and the people and the crowd, the smell of the food. We're not doing all of that. We are looking at belief. And if inside of you, I I heard something about Kag-bhusundi. I heard something about Garuda. I heard something about Bharadwaj or Yagyavalak. I know Lord Shiva is there somewhere, but I don't know. I don't know why we just touch the book, why we just lift the book on the head. You go into yourself at the very beginning of our little walk tonight, our little journey tonight into Ramayana. And this Ramayana is being done not for you to, only reminisce. We are in a religious course. You and I are about to embark on a little journey. And our journey must have a purpose. Our purpose must be to raise our level of knowledge. So that, and you hear it, remember what your Baba was saying. When you understand it a little more, you'll do it a little better. At a simple way for children to understand. When you understand the example, what the teacher teaches on the board, you could work out the sums, you could answer the question, because I understand the work now, I understand the procedure now, I understand why we do this and divide and multiply, why we do it. But when I don't understand it, sir, if I don't grasp it, I would not be able to replicate it. I will not be able to regurgitate it. So if I don't understand why I'm fasting or I'm doing prayers or I'm making the effort, how will I do it again? How will I light the day again? How will I do it with a good mind? How will I do it again? So you see people start, correct me if I'm going wrong, people start and then they stop, they drop off, they fall off the bandwagon. Today our satsang is to help. Please join with me as we try to help each other. All right, so put your hands together as we get ready to do invocation, as we welcome the Lord into our hearts, into our homes, into our families, as we look for some guidance. If you're now joining us, please join your hands as we say opening mantra to our first night tonight of our virtual Ramayana. Om Gajananam Bhutaganaadisevitam Kapet Jambu Palachar Bhakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashkarakam Namami Viganeshwara Padapankajam Sarvamangalmangalye Shive Sarvart Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Rama Rama Bhadrama Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunatha Nataya Sitaya Pate Nama. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Continue to keep your mind on Prabhu. Rama hi mahilaki lekamahishu Mahapujya Karideyo Ganeshu Rama Ramiti Rasagatiti Bhakti Gatah Manake Bajata Him Kulata Prema Patata. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Let's join together as we do a couple of verses of Ramayana Sumiran. Jo sumirat siddhi hoy, he gananayak karivar vadana, karivar bhadavadana, karahu anugrah so he Rama. बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सधना, गुण गुण सधना, मूक होए वाचाल हे रामा, पंगु चढ़े गिरिवर गहना, गिरिवर गहना, जासु कृपा सुदयाल हे रामा, द्रवहु सकल कलिमल दहना, कलिमल दहना, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होय हे रामा, गणनायक करिवर वदना, करिवद वदना, करहु अनुग्रह सो हे रामा, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सधना, शुभ गुण सधना, नील सरो वर्षाम हे रामा, तरुण अरुण भार जनयना, भार जनयना, करहु सुमम और धाम हे रामा, सनाशीर सागर श्रवणा, सागर शयना, बंदो गुरु पर कंज हे रामा, कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि, नर रूप हरि, महा मोहतम पुंज हे रामा, जासु वचन रवि कर निकर, रवि कर निकरा, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होय हे रामा, गणनायक करिवर वदना, करिवर वदना, ओम श्री गुरु चरण सरोरज, निज मन मुकुर सुधारी, ओ रामा निज मन मुकुर सुधारी, वरनो रघुवर विमल यशा, जो दायक फल चार, बोधहीन तनु जानिके, सुमिरो पवन कुमार, बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि, हरहु कलेश विकार सिया, पति रामचंद्र जी की जय, शरणम उमापति महादेव की जय. Tonight we are going to hear more about this knowledge. Do you remember this bhajan? So just chant the name a little bit. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. One of our more older bhajan, something for me personally, first time I sang on radio, I sang this bhajan. I was in school in those days. Aaj andheri, all these children in the school RI class would sing it together. Mein hai hum insan. Oh Lord, today we are all blinded because we don't know the darkness of ignorance. Oh Lord, grant us the light, suraj, of what? Wisdom, so we could follow the right path in this life. ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान, बकत रहे हम राह दिखा दे भगवान, राह दिखा दे। कदम कदम पर किरण विचारे भगवान, किरण विचारे। इन अनियन को प्रभु करा दे ज्योति से पहचान, ज्योति से पहचान रे। आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान। Dear God, today we are lost with sorrow and the ignorance. We don't know how to come out of the sorrow, the loss in, the unhappiness, the depression. We lost and we don't know how to help ourselves. Lead us through, hold we hand and give we the bliss, give we the rays, the light that could give we bliss in every step of our life. Cast your light in my life, dear God, so we could see and discriminate what is good, what is the right way, what is the wrong way. हम तुहे संतान तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी। तेरी दया के हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम अधिकारी। दुनिया होए सुखी हमारी, दुनिया होए सुखी हमारी, ऐसा दे वरदान। We are your children and we seek your grace. We come and we beg for your compassion. Don't judge me like that. Give me help. Forgive me. We make mistake, Prabhu. Bless us so we could get peace in my life. So in this life, in my job, in my family, whatever is the case, I could find happiness in this world. Bestow upon us this boon. This is what I pray for. Supreme. Aisa de Vardhan. Vardhan means the blessing, the Ashirwad. God lift your hand and He give you what may be impossible. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान. We come again, dear God. We come because we blind and we know. You want to understand what you're saying because many people sing this bhajan. It's quite popular. They hear it, you hear them. Yeah, we sing that in school too. How many people sang this in school? Leave me a message. Let me know what standard you was in. For me, standard 1 and then many years later in radio. And what making you blind? I don't know which is the correct way to choose. This job, that job, this person, that person. Stay, go, spend, don't spend. It's choices. But if I am blinded and I cannot make the right choice, Prabhu, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान. With your light, with wisdom, I will choose, I will follow the right path in this life. Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai. Tonight we enter Doha 51, around Doha 51 in Uttarkhand. Tulsidas, I'm reading from the Gita Press version. Narad Muni had just left after listening in Brahma abode about again they're discussing the benefit of the worship of Prabhu Sri Ram, his feet, his glory, etc. This is taken just after Vashish Muni says that the worst job, the lowest job is the Purohit. This is just after that. So Prabhu Shankar, he says, Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. गिरिजा सुनहु विषाद यह कथा में सब कही मोरी मति जात, रामचरित्र सतकोटि अपारा, श्रुति शारद नय भरनो पारा। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय जय रामा। Listen, O Uma, Mother Parvati and Lord Shiva is talking. I have told you in full the holy narrative, in my own words, the story of Sri Ram, the little Leelas. Without my words, it is hard to discern, it is hard to understand the intricacies of this katha, of this thing we call Ramayana. Not even the Ved, not even Sharada or Saraswati could recount all of the pastimes, the backstory, the meanings, the teaching is so much, it is so vast. His excellence, his birth, the exploits of him as a child, as a young man, as a man, as an older person. His names, endless, too many things to talk about, too many things to discuss. Is it possible to count? It may be possible, to count the amount of drops of water are falling in the course of a heavy rain shower. It may be possible to count how many grains of sand is in the beach. But the exploits of Ram cannot be recounted in full. He says the sacred story enables one to reach Sri Hari Vishnu. Whosoever hears it is blessed with devotion. Devotion. Songs, if I ask you, are you a devotee? You will say yes. Yes, Baba, yes. A devotee is a person that practices devotion. Oma, I have repeated in full this delightful story which Bhushundi recited to Garuda. That I have given to you. I have recounted a few of the different episodes with the virtue of Sri Ram, to show his strength, to show his might. Let me know, Bhavani, what I am to tell you next. Parvati Mata, very glad to have this time, this one-on-one time with Prabhu Shankar Bhagwan. Replies to him, I am very blessed, O Prabhu, O Tripurari, destroyer of the demon Tripura. I have heard Sri Ram praise and it takes away my fears after listening to it. By your grace, Devi says, O abode of mercy, I have now obtained the purpose, the object of my life. I have no delusion inside of me. I have realized that the greatness of Sri Ram, who is knowledgeable, blissful personified. O Lord of resolute mind, my soul now has no rest as I am coiffed with the questions. The nectar-like story of Sri Ram, the hero of the Raghu, following from your moon-like mouth, I have a question. I have few questions for you. रामचरित जय सुनत अवाहिम, राम निसदिन ज्ञान नहीं वे, इति श्री जीवन भक्त महामुनि रे। श्री राम जय जय रामा, श्री राम जय जय Rama. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Parvati Mata is speaking to Mahadev Baba. What is she saying? Prabhu, I was listening to your discourse. And in listening to what you said, even if great sages who are blessed with knowledge and all these things, in their lifetime, they want to listen to the constant praises of Sri Hari, Lord Vishnu. To him who seeks to cross the Bhavasagar, or this ocean of death and birth and death, this worldly existence, the narrative of Sri Ram and his Katha, that narrative is a safe bank where a person can park their boat in the journey. Figuratively speaking, everybody listen. The praises of Lord Vishnu are delightful to the ears and pleasing to the mind, Mahadev. But in this world, anybody who has ears to hear should enjoy listening to the pastimes of Raghunath based on what you have just told me. Prabhu, it is my opinion, stupid are those creatures, killers are they of their own soul. In terms of killers, meaning you are moving forward. But instead now you're bounding down, you're trapping, you're blocking, you're like instead of allowing it to move forward and improve, you are your own damnation. Whose the narrative of Sri Ram does not attract them. You have the ears, but your mind, it doesn't. Man, switch the station. I fill up here and think, Ram, I don't want to hear about that. While you sang all the chaupai and all the passages that is contained in this text, what you have chosen to call Manas Lake of Sri Hari Vishnu or the Ram Charit Manas, I have listened, my Lord, with boundless joy. But in what you were saying, you told me that this charming story was recited by Kag-bhusundi to Garuda. But Bhushundi is staunch in his dispassion, steadfast in his wisdom. As we go on to Doha 53. Realization, cherish deep devotion to Sri Ram, Sri Ram's feet in particular. That one possessing the form of a crow would be a devotee of Sri Ram, is a devotee of Sri Ram. But this by itself has filled me with a great doubt. Doha 53. At the chaupai, thereafter, the first 4 chaupai, O Tripurari, consider this what she's saying here. O Tripurari, amongst 1,000 men, scarce is it to find in this 1,000 people one person who is steadfast in their vow of piety, in devotion, in their worship. Amongst 10 million devoted to religion and their practices, their beliefs, people who don't deviate, people who don't, well, I can't do it the correct way, we could do it the shortcut way. No, people who stand fast and firm, I must do it the correct way. Another example, cleanliness. Forget the puja, forget all those things. Maybe I want to clean my thali or my burtan, I want to clean my place. People who hold fast to the tenets, hold hard to the tenets that cleanliness is next to godliness. I am going to have puja, I am going to have prayer, I want to have a certain standard. Now this what I'm saying here is just examples, just to illustrate the point to children. Amongst 10 million souls devoted, so the 10 million is devoted, we are not talking about not devoted, devoted people. There may be one who is against the pleasures of sense ruling them. So I could be religious, I could be knowledgeable somewhat of doing little puja, lighting the diya, but the tongue is my Lord. The ears, I love to listen to the wrong things. I like to look at the wrong things. I enjoy the senses, the pleasures. That is all my life is about. They take the light. They don't, the one person who is a little withdrawn, that they take the light in being neutral. Not too much of happiness, not too much of sadness. And it's so hard. 1 in 10 million. Among 10 million souls that is free from worldly attachment. According to the Vedic teachings, scarce one succeeds in acquiring perfect wisdom. Wisdom is when you have knowledge and you apply the knowledge to the predicament, the troubles you have in your life. It is said in the Ved, it is said in Ramayan. I remember, you know what you're asking me here, uncle? I remember Sri Ram said this to Bharat, and you apply the teachings of your text and your belief and your religion to solve the problems that are faced in your life. That wisdom, one person out of 10 million people might succeed in attaining true wisdom. Amongst 10 million enlightened souls in this world, there is hardly one who attains that mukti, final beatitude, even when living. Beatitude, the ability or the attainment of such blissfulness that you are called Jivan Mukt, or your soul is liberated but the soul is still in the body. But because of who you are, the choices you make, based on the knowledge and the wisdom that you have, the day your life leaves the body, you're predestined. You're going to go to Lord Vishnu. It is very hard to have that amongst thousands of such souls. Imagine them, we just say 1 in 10 million to get Jivan Mukti. Among 8,000 Jivan Mukti people, one would learn about the Brahman, or the true face of God, the energy, the invisible form, Nirgundam, not Sagun, not only the face, only the multi, only that side of creation, but go one step now. We don't have multi and all that, but the person merges their identity into the unseen form and accordingly becomes as if whilst life within the body a fountain of joy, because they know the truth. Sagun, Nirgun. They become of the religious minded, unattached, meaning they're stable. The enlightened individual, emancipated from all the things that are pulling and pushing. I am doing good and I want everybody to see I'm doing good. I'm doing Seva, but I'm looking for payment. And when me get what I want, nobody didn't call my name in the voter tongues, I'm depressed. So you're up and down. Joy and sorrow, joy and sorrow. You're happy today, come depressed. Happy today, come depressed, and you come back down. And with the hope, and when you get disappointed, oh God, you get so depressed. And who pays for it? Be honest, sitting where you is. Who is pay for that? Oh God, how God could let this happen? How God allow me to fail my exam? Why God do me this? We bastardize this. So it says the person who has this enlightenment, emancipation, as well as those who are able to merge calmly, see God in all the doings, in all walks of life, in all creatures. O Lord of all the divinities, Mahadev, greatest Dev, he who takes delight in devotion to Sri Ram and is free from vanity and vile behavior is most difficult to find. The person who is genuine, because there are people, like what she's saying, there are people who call themselves religious. You will have people who will call themselves knowledgeable. You will have people who call themselves Jivan Mukti. I have done great things, I have done great things. But in that circle of good people, the true or the heights of that good is very difficult to ascertain. And then she says further now, enlightened, emancipated, merged into the absolute, not only the multi that you and I love, the unseen energy, the things that God does with an invisible hand. I could internalize that and encapsulate that in my mind, and I believe in it. When you look at the world, and the world fighting my God better than your God, the same sun that all the different God, according to some people, all the different God, the God can be bigger than me and you. The Hindu faith is showing that God could have 2 hands, 4 hands, 18 hands. He could have a snake around your neck. He could have an elephant head. To give the person the idea, you know what? God could be more than me. God could be beyond what I could imagine. God could be beyond the proof that we look for in science. That the impossible, the things that we do not really grasp as yet, that is God. When the person holds on to that and they take happiness, and there's no doubt, but I believe in it, as they educate themselves, that person is rare. And even more rare than that is the person who really finds ardent, genuine devotion in Sri Ram, then the person finds the joy in the Sri Ram, and they become better by freeing themselves of vanity. You know how many pundit, how many singers, oh, are singing the bhajan, but watch me here, I'm singing, look at me, I have on the beautiful mala, look at me here, I have a mala on. The vanity and the vials, the mistakes that within everybody, we all are sinners. If we was blessed with a beauty Mahavishnu, if we was perfect and saintly, trust me, bad things would not be happening to each and every person. If you were perfect, you would have been with perfection. Sri Ram or Lord Vishnu, however you want to call. Devi says it is so difficult to attain this, that a person could read the Ramayana, in this case of Ramayana, read the Ramayana, do the puja, and then put it in their life and change their life. However, there are some people who might read the words or do the puja and then continue to make mistakes. And this is what she's talking about when she says 1 in millions, because not everybody follows through or walks the path. What the song was again? Arjun Here, I'm blind. Blinded by what? The ignorance that is keeping me from going on the right path. So Devi is highlighting technically what that song is saying. I don't know how to find the road. I'm lost. So dear God, please help me. I'm full of doubt. I don't know which left or right. How to do it. How to up my game. How to improve. And I want you to be honest with yourself tonight. Do you know it all? Are you perfect, or is there room to improve? From that perspective, walk with me. She says, kindly explain to me in full detail, O Lord of this universe, how such devotion to Sri Hari Vishnu, Sri Ram incarnate, was attained by a little bird, a crow. How could it's so hard to get devotion to Sri Ram feet, for the person to pull to that, to love that form, to grow in that form, to want to hear Ramayana, to do Ramayana Yag, to share food, to be the hand. It have people who only want to collect the prasad. Collect the prasad. And then it has some people, I vex with you, man, yeah, let me share, I want to take my hand and share the prasad. Better you get, I want to help. I want to help turn the pot, man. Help me, let me help you make the manbhog. I want to make the prasad for the yag. I want to volunteer to make the prasad, and I will gladly do it. Don't pay me. No, don't pay me. When you pay me, I collect the money, but I wouldn't get the blessing, the burden, maybe the song now telling me about. I wouldn't get the blessing because I sell my sweat, I sell my energy in that moment when I collect the money, and we all need money to live. I understand that. But there is a point where you have to give. You have to give what God give you. You have to find a way within yourself where you could muster. Maybe you give flowers, maybe you pick leaf. May mean that it had to be expensive. But charity begins at home. And if you do not prioritize your life and say, okay, you know what, I don't have plenty money, but in my yard it had doob grass, Ganesh Utsav is coming, I am going to sponsor via just the picking the doob grass for the puja. I don't have the money to buy the ghee baba, but I want to take my hand. I know how to grow the pot. I am going to give my energy, my effort, my ability. My hands will be at your disposal for free, Baba. And in that way, when the person does it, then they get the blessing. But what happened? Why you pay Baba? Baba, I want to compensate you for the knowledge, for the effort, depending on what yag, depending on what puja, what patra, whether it is put the dollar in the arti for Baba, me I want to owe you for what you teach and what you do. I pay by Krishna upon. When the person pay now and you think, okay, I cooking in the temple, I cooking in the prayers, there are some things you do not accept payment for. If this be your job, are you a chef, are you a cook, for example, there is a balancing act that has to happen. So my advice to you who are looking on, when you are doing you're making mala for prayers, maybe I make mala and Baba I charge $1, whatever the fee is, that's not the important point. Make time. maybe a yag, maybe you specify Guruji is doing something by his house, or you have something in the park, you have something going on in a temple you feel, and the God within you will say, you know what? Donate your effort, donate your knowledge, donate your hands, your service to the mala that is going to the murti of Lord Shiva, Krishna Bhagwan, Sri Ram, Radharani, Sita Mata. So in your conversation, well, I charge, and I'm being straight, I'll charge you for the mala, for the vyas, for the man, the pandit, the aja, the aji, whosoever, but I would like to donate a mala for the Ram Murti. Could I do that? Could I volunteer to help with the Mahanbhog? Could I get involved with the Dubras? In what way could I come and assist? Because when I come to assist and I do that seva and I sweat for that prayers, you understand what I mean, the labor. I sweat. There's a wonderful shift brand discourse about the benefit of what? Sweeping the mandal. I remember this as I'm telling you now. I remember I went to a temple to read many years ago, and whilst I was walking in to do my hawan, one lady said, "Oh God, Pandit, we fix this, we put the lota there for you, we put this, that, and the other." She said, and we come so pitiful. There's only a couple of us to sweep the temple, and oh God, when we work done, why we just have to suffer? So I said, "Auntie, what happened?" She said, "Well, we alone is get to sweep the Shiv Mandir, and we alone is have to keep it up, and we alone is have." And to me, and the next night I read the discourse referring to the benefit. If anybody look it on, find it in your Shiv brand, there is discourse that explains the blessing and the benefit of sweeping a Mahadev, a Shiv temple, or a temple that have a lingam. So I don't know which temple do have a lingam in it, if you understand my meaning. Where he is, there's a blessing to maintain. Sometimes God just put you in a place, to lift you, but it's just me and you. We're so weak. We are no Prabhu. We Ajant Here. You're putting my foot and my hand in the place, but oh Prabhu, oh God, it's just my eye too blind to see your work, boy. It's just I upset if I have to make the parsad. I upset if I have to share the parsad. I upset if I have to sweep the temple or go in the jag. I so let me be honest, for all the children are lazy. The jag there in the village, and to go and to find it in your heart. You're doing it for man, you're doing it for me, you're doing it for she, you're doing it for he, the Prabhu, the God. But the opportunity, Prabhu say, here, look, you stand up next to the broom. I gave you 2 hands, I gave you 2 foot. Look the broom. And I want you today to ask yourself, what invisible force is squeezing you to keep you from sweeping a temple? I just using 1 or 2 examples. 1 or 2. I can't cook. Where are I going to cook? Me, I know about them. Wash the ways. Get involved. Get involved. Krishna says in Gita, the Yagya chapter 3, the Yagya is what will give you the joy, what you're praying for, the sacrifice. It's too hard to pick the flowers, it's too hard to get the gobar, it's too hard to leap the baby, it's too hard to sweep, it's too hard to wash the wares, it's too hard to cook it's too hard to cook the food, everybody. Watch how it is work. I have prayers, Sachin, my nephew, watching me and he laughing. I have prayers with him and he had to take out food. And I'm making up this, because my nephew don't play them thing. But I'm so lazy. I don't want to cook the roti, I only buying. And when the person who making the roti every day potting here fasting, he's not a vegetarian. Hog, dog, fly, eat everything eaten. And you're putting it in your food, Jai Vishnu, cooking it now, and you come by my nephew, and my nephew had to go and say, Krishna Arpan, and you go wonder why, how come I'm doing all this prayers, all this mounted up prayers, Prabhu, I'm doing all the prayers, Prabhu, but me I see my way. Why I just do? Because we choose who we order stuff by. So when I call on my godson Darius, that little boy will tell me, I clean, I meddling with funeral. I'm meddling in fresh like Christmas time. I'm meddling in fresh. I'm vegetarian. And it says to the person, know who you're ordering things from if you have to order. Other than that, what we do, we ordered because everybody know I kind of stay away because of the cost of it from the roti, that's a different topic. But know the person you're ordering your stuff from, and when you have to take out food or you have to offer things, that is why our people have the tradition, do it yourself. If it's one side of roti that have to cut into the differential when you're taking out food, one clean side of roti and one tablespoon of tomatoes would suffice. That way you manage what you have to do and the quality of what you're giving is the best. But to get to that point where the person is concerned about the quality of their prayer, that by itself is difficult. How are you telling me now, as she goes back, how are you telling me now a crow, man who has sense, man who could think, man who could judge, man who could sing, man who could play the drum, who could do all these things, put on tikka and kanhavar and dress the part, dance the part, a crow could get it? I will understand what I'm saying to you, and I will consider it when you look at your children. Babe, I see all the coming temple. For example, Ponder they want to get up. Ponder them children too lazy. Ponder them children this, that and the other. This is what we are facing of God's creation. They say human birth is the highest. Of the human birth, some people are specially able, differently able. Those situations take you away from the, let me say, full ability. Where a man with 2 feet could walk in Tirat, going around the multi, maybe the person on the crutches or the wheelchair might have a little impediment. I agree. Of the people who could walk and think, no brain problem, no eye problem, no sense problem, no tongue problem, out of all that capable people, one person might be able to say, you know what, I want to sing for him, and close your eye, Jai Krishna Hare Ajandhere Rama Ayodhya me aaye, and sing how? Not with vanity, not with that type of modus, but with true devotion, where the tears start to run from your eye when you believe in what you're doing, when you understand. And me, I know nothing, but I want to know. This is what she's saying. I want you to explain to me, O Lord of this universe, how such devotion is able to physically fit inside this little being called a crow. Also, tell me, Doha 54, Uttarkhand, if you're joining me late, follow me. Tell me, Prabhu, how did Bhushundi obtain the form of a crow if he is so devoted to Sri Ram? If he could teach about Sri Ram, how come he's a crow, steeped in wisdom, with all the virtues and resolution in his mind? Why is he in the form of a crow? Prabhu, tell me all this. Going on to her third question. Oh merciful Lord, oh repository of Kripa, mercy, where from did the crow get this sacred and delightful story? Who teach he it? And also let me know how it is you know that story. How you know as Shiv Baba that Kag-bhusundi knew the story that you are saying he taught to Garuda, or destroyer of Cupid. For all this fills me with so much more inquisitive question. I now was wondering what was her problem in the beginning? How is Mahavishnu, Shankar, Chakra, Kada, Padma, the 400 form with all the different power, Madhu, Kaitab, all the different incarnation fit inside this little human on the earth that is cast into doubt, all the trouble he going through. That is the same Lord Vishnu in a nutshell. That is the doubt. So when Lord Shiva explains now, and he's teaching now, this is where she's saying, I understand that. I understand, I'm full within myself that the person who have heirs and they don't enjoy the Katha of Sri Ram, pitiful. They're like their own they're causing their own damnation. They want to listen to garbage, but they don't want to listen to good and uplifting things. No, I am concerned about this Kag-bhusundi. Garuda, next question, fifth question. Garuda is highly enlightened. I know of him. He is embodiment of virtue. Moreover, he is a servant of Sri Ram. Sri Hari Vishnu sits on him. He is the Vahan. He's the mount, the vehicle of Lord Vishnu. He lives very close to Lord Vishnu. Garuda is Garuda and Lord Vishnu sitting side by side and talking, leaving a host of all the sages. Wherefore did he, Garuda, go to a crow to hear the story of Sri Ram? If Garuda is the king of the birds, if he is the highest, Jatayu, some party was explaining that. Little bird to the biggest bird, Garuda. In terms of ability, inner power, knowledge, and now we're talking about company of Sri Hari Vishnu when he has the teeth back, the Panchamrit, the Amrit to save Vinata and the Kushgras and splitting up the tongue, the snake's tongue. All we talk about this already in our Yag. All of this, now you're telling me the king of the bird going by the little crow, for children, let me say the little kobo, and he going by the crow to hear what? This height, this Ramayana, what me and you might think as a story, me and you with our limited devotion, we don't appreciate word for word what is in context of our text. So when you hear it, well, I hear that story already, and without any devotion, gauge yourself. Why is it that people are traveling throughout the world to go and see the consecration of this Ram Mandir? Why is this Ram Mandir so big? What is the big deal? There is still a masjid today where Krishna Janam Bhumi Mandir is. But Ram Janam Bhumi is such a big deal. There's a place where the nursing is incarnated. There's a place where we talked about Gaya, the Mahima of Gaya, where Buddha got his enlightenment. There are so many instances, so many places. But Ram Janam, how is it that this little bird could instruct the king, his leader now? How is that possible? How is it that they're both devotees of Sri Hari Vishnu, and you're telling me Garuda went to listen to this little bird talk about it? What it is that Garuda does not understand? Mahadev Baba replies to her, smiling. You know, for all the men out here looking at me, married people, or even the ladies too, I suspect, you married somebody, but correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes their mouth is open and you say something and you just wonder, I didn't expect you to say that. I didn't expect you to go there. And it is possible for you to feel, he say that. I use myself, prayer, it is a parallel prayer. Keshava, why you say that for? Why you say that? And I just had to, sometimes the way I get trained now, sometimes before I make a pronouncement, especially somebody asking me for prayers, for example, prayers, you will come, before I say, yes or no, I have to watch because she know the diary. She know my schedule. In an example, sometimes you say something and your spouse could let you down or embarrass you. But in this example where a man is thinking about what his wife is saying, I understand when your spouse could make you proud. I didn't expect you to come there. I didn't look in simple language. I didn't look in for you to say that or to think like that. To have this kind of conversation in my home. We argue, we fight, we laugh, we quarrel, and to be honest, sometimes we really get to sit down and I share my discourse. You won't believe what I read. You won't believe what I find. I never read that before, and I find it. And she tell me, and where read, and how, and that happened. And she has the, she want to know as well. So it for me is something in your religion. For many people, is not a major part, and I think it is such an imperative thing. You see it in other religions that you could share your interest in your God. I have friends who are Christian, who are from Islam, and they will sit down and discuss what God said in this book or what God said in their book and have that. But in Hinduism, how often, for those of you looking at home, how often do you hear the wife talking to the husband and he has the interest or the belief that in the Ramayana, I was reading the book and I came across this, or I came across this passage, whether from TikTok or whatsoever. You ever hear anybody say that? You ever learn that? Did you ever hear this? Or a husband saying to a wife, I was praying the other day, and I came across this. Wouldn't it be a wonderful example for children if a father was talking to his wife, and for once, just once, let me say it happened once a week, You know, I was reading the book, I was reading the meaning of the Hanuman Chalisa, and I think about when he talk about the Ashta Siddhi, maybe, you know, that is like a reference, or, you know, that is why Mother Durga had eight hand around she body. Maybe the painter trying to show you the different siddhi or the different power or the powerful hands that she have. You could be right, it could be wrong, it could be a thought, but you're thinking, and the other person will contribute. Nah, I don't think so. I feel it's just that is how Mother Durga is in the example. But remember, children watching, children looking on. Just as Sita Mata was watching, just as Tulsi Mata was watching when her mother was praying, when, you know, they look, you learn from your parents. If your mother is to hold the lotus, so when she will find the dal, for example, that is where you will know. That is the way. When that girl get married and she go in the husband house, this is the only way to hold the lotus. If he learned to do it so, he learned it so from his mother and his family. The examples is what you learn from. Mother has, and if you really look at inside of you, more you learn from them is more you want to know, more questions coming, and that is part of your journey. He says, Devi, you make me feel so blessed, oh virtuous lady. Your ideas are very holy, your questions is filled with love, and what it full with? Love for the feet of Sri Ram. I understand that where you are sitting, you have placed the feet of Sri Ram. Such in my hand in the screen. Sorry. You have placed the feet of Sri Ram here, and you're wondering, if I am down here, how does this little bird attain this foot? How will you see it? I feel so good to have something like that come from you. Therefore, listen to the story. When it is heard, the delusions that affects all people, it is cut away. Somebody asks you, what you're going Ramayana for? What you're going to hear? You're going to hear secrets from the story of Ram. What does it do? It engenders, it gives you faith. It gives you the ability to cut away from the doubts, from the misinformation you have in your mind. Otherwise, this life and the Maya of the same God will cause you to become so confused that you might be confused, and you could stay confused if you do not come into contact with somebody who is willing to push into your head the knowledge that you need to overcome the confusion. If you stay by yourself, you could take up the book. Imagine trying to teach yourself A-level maths. I had the textbook in my hand. I'm in a classroom, I'm in front of the board, but I just don't understand the science. I don't understand the procedure. I don't understand. I can't start from beginning to end. I don't know how to do that kind of maths I see them children doing. Until someday somebody who understands it come and share, and maybe they break it up for you. And they say, listen, do this, then do that, then do the other. And that is why. This is why we do. This is what we do. This is how we do it. And from that example and that newly found understanding, the person is able now to, you know, reciprocate. And any problem like that come again, oh, I know how to solve that. I know when stress comes, how to solve that. I know from the example of the Ramayana, when we hear about Garuda's story, when we hear about Sati Devi doubt, when we hear about the different tests that Jayanta and different people went through, I understand when tests come, what to do. Are you listening? Are you trying to solve your problem in your life? And sometimes you just don't know what to do. You do not know what to do. The change has to start with you. The change has to start with you. When you ask God, stand up inside of me, live inside of me. Why am I talking about bringing Ram into your mandir? Because if he's missing from here, you may not have the guidance that you are looking for. And when the trouble's coming from the outside and it's hitting you, you may not have the answers readily available. And then we're in trouble. The story, the glory of Sri Ram's feet and his story will burn away the doubts that are blocking you from crossing this Bhausagar. How does Sri Ram cause the, remember when we say any bhajan just now, he's the bank that the boat Last week we were talking about he's the ferryman. You is the boatman that will ferry me. So he driving the boat to take you across. Good. Now they're saying he's the bank where the boat will bounce and park up so you could cross the Bausagar. Understand why we just be singing the bhajan? I look into you for that. When you listen and you start to absorb, but absorb with the right mind, absorb with the right thinking, show the interest, ask God for it. That will allow you to cross this ocean without difficulty. Oh Devi, please listen. The king of the birds did go to that crew with this type of questions, and I will tell you reverently all that you want to know. Listen with an attentive mind. Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Rama. मैं जिमी कथा सुनी भव मोचनी, सो प्रसंग सुनो सुमुखी, सुलोचनी प्रथम चाहि गृहा, तव अवरा सती नाम तब रहा तुम्हारा. श्री राम जय जय रामा, जय राम श्री राम जय जय रामा. Umapati Mahadev ki jai. He says, listen, oh charming lady, with your beautiful eyes, circumstance, plead. And it starts with you. During the last time you were born in the house of Daksh under the name Sati. Remember that? Sati was your name. And when Daksh did his insult, the indignation that you felt, you burned with your yogic powers, your life, you burned your body. And all my Dut, Bhairo, and all others of the army destroyed that Yajna. And your body was burning. And you know the entire episode. I felt so troubled, I was wandering from place to place. And I left because although we destroyed the Yagya, it wasn't enough. It wasn't shanti in me because your body was burning. My dear, I wondered even after when Lord Vishnu destroyed your burning body and all the gut that you hear about in India, where her lip fell, where her bosom fell, where her hip fell, where people burn bodies still today, or they do Shrad. Even after that, I still roam like a mad, desolate individual. I wandered around the beautiful woodlands, the mountain, the rivers, tanks, seeing the place, looking for you. In the far north, beyond Mount Sumiru, there stands a beautiful mountain that is called Nilagiri. Nilagiri, or the blue mountain. It is very beautiful, and in that place golden peaks, people, tree groves, palaksh, tree groves, mango groves exist. It is as if the mountain is studded with gems. In the water it was very cool. It was very sweet water, abundant with colorful birds, wonderful flocks of swans, and the humming and buzzing of bees and different insects was quite evident. On that splendid mountain dwells Kag Bhushundi, that outlived, listen to this, he outlived the end of the earth, the end of time, the end of the kalp. He lives beyond that. The various good and evil phenomena that are created by Maya, he lives beyond that. Ignorance, various forms of infatuation and lust, he has passed all that, which has no sway over him. Never touch people that live, that maybe that type of distraction affect other people, but in this mountain, none of these things seem to affect not only Kag-bhusundi, but the other individual, the other life forms there. Now here, Uma, with affection, how this crow spends his day. From where I was looking on, I had to stop to watch what was happening. Here is this beautiful scenery, but now, who is living here? Adoring Sri Hari Vishnu under a peepal tree, practices meditation daily. He performed sacrifice of jap, muttering the mantras. How? Whispering. There are many people here today don't know how to say the Guru mantra. If they know the Guru mantra, the first day Baba whispered in the ears, forget it the next day. There are many people who don't know I am supposed to do Manas prayer, my Guru mantra. For example, step 1, close your mouth and say it in your mind. There are many people still lacking the knowledge of when to whisper mantra. Om Bhurva Swata Savitur Varinyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat Swaha. And when we say it out loud, Om Namah Shivaya, the different method, the different voice, the different volume, the intonation, he did it, he knew it, he had that practice, and he was able to do it. Under a palaksh tree, in the shade of the mango tree, he did Manas prayer, where he would meditate, sitting calm in Padma Asana, in Sukhasana, in different asana, and he's seen himself take the milk and bathe the foot of Sri Ram. He's bathing the foot with honey, he's bathing the foot with water in his mind. Worshipping the Lord, having no occupation other than that worship of Sri Hari Vishnu under the Vrita Vraksh. Remember we were talking about Vrita Vraksh, or the Banyan tree. The Banyan tree here, he narrates under the Banyan tree, the tree that Sita Mata blessed in Kriti Basi Ramayan, based on our last yagya, in our last episode. Here he sits, and I saw him attract all forms of life, not only people who look like human, not only people who belong to Brahman or Kshatri, not only rich people, not only affluent people, but now birds, different crawling, four-legged, two-legged, different forms of life attracted to him, came there, and they sat quietly listening to him as he would sing the various exploits of Prabhu Shri Ram. The swans of pure mind that would dwell in the lake all listen to the story. I'm in Chaupai 4 after Doha 56. When I arrived there and I saw this spectacle and I saw all that was going on, it distracted me from all the pain I was going through because of you not being there anymore. My heart started to swell, Chaupai 5, and my heart started to swell because anything I'm doing, when I hear Ram, when I see Ram, I cannot help myself, Devi. You call me Mahadev, but I am less than Mahadev when Prabhu's name is being chanted. I become weak for him, I dance for him. I have to stop what I am doing and I have to listen. And this Doha 57, I assumed a form of a swan, and I stood in the lake with all the other swans, not to bring attention to myself, but just to witness for a length of time. Reverently, I listened to Sri Ram Katha from the lips of Kag-bhusundi. Girija, here I have told you the whole episode of how I visited Kag-bhusundi, and I heard how he was given, and I saw who he was, and I saw what he did, and from there I had left when I got my fill and I came back Kailash. Kag-bhusundi is the one who gave him the serenity to calm down and come back. And when he came back to Kailash, according to Shiv Puran, that's where he sees Devi in the aerial form. Now here, the circumstances under which Garuda, that glory, the Raja of the feathered kingdom, called upon the crow. When, and this is taking us back into Lanka Khan. For those of you that may not remember, let me just refresh your memory. When in the battle with Lanka, Indrajit or Meghnad, which is his correct name, the first son of Ravan, used a weapon, long story short, in the battle, and the arrow transformed into snakes and it coiled around the body of Ram and Lakshman. Because of the prayers that Meghnad had used to get the arrow, rather than just burst the snake like that, Sri Ram says, let me show the respect to the mantra, otherwise it will be as if, well, the prayers to Brahma, the prayers to Shiva is not as effective. So out of respect, he remains trapped like this, subconscious, unconscious, on the battlefield. So when this was done, Prabhu allowed himself to be bound by Meghnad, and Narad Muni had come, and he calls on Garuda, who is the devourer of serpents. Because of the history when we were talking about Garuda, Remember what we said? His cousins are the serpents, and he don't like them, and them don't like he. But with his force, he goes. Watch the pity of Garuda. You always see Garuda having the serpent in his claw. He doesn't make joke with them. He goes and he eats them. They call him Garuda and they say, you come and you eat snake here. Cut the bonds and allow Sri Ram to regain his strength. In doing so, Garuda is used, and there are many examples of where Garuda, in different text meaning, where Garuda is asking, how come I am just a bird. I am your Vahan in Vishnu form. How come you need my help, Prabhu? There are so many people, Hanuman, Jamant, there are so many capable people to help you. Why did you call upon me? In the same way, recalling the Lord after the incident, Sri Ram is freed, the war went on. Recalling the Lord's bondage, the enemy of serpents, thought over of the incident. It was the all-pervading, passionless Brahma, Lord of speech, the supreme ruler beyond Maya and era, who had, as I was told, taken descent upon the world. When I say Brahma, I mean the Brahman, the Vishnu. If it is that he, who I call Mahavishnu, has taken form, but I didn't see any of his glory, I didn't see any of his power. I'm at the end of Chaupai 4. Coming after Doha 57. How could all this Mahavishnu be in that little man that was trapped with that snake just now? How? The same Ram, by repeating whose name men get freedom from the bonds of this worldly existence, was tied by a puny demon with coils of snakes, serpents, the weapon of Meghnad. Garuda he did all he could do to reassure himself. You know, the first thing that happens to me and you when bad things come, when a doubt comes, when I'm worried about if my spouse be cheating, if the child will pass the exam, if I lose my job today, how I going to pay the bill, and these moments come in your mind. You know what we do for the first? We start to talk to ourselves and we don't worry about it, don't take it on, pretend you didn't see that, don't worry, a child will talk back to you, and you try to fix it yourself. But the light of wisdom did not dawn on him. If the question is, that is the same Vishnu, then internally there was no answer saying, yes, boy, that is the same Vishnu. That didn't happen. This moment overshadowed his soul with so much doubt that he was torn by torments full of mental questions. He fell prey to the delusion within himself, and in the perplexity that came with it, he went to Narad Muni. Depending on this Narad Muni, he tells Narad about why he's being feasted on. It is as if something is eating him, clawing at him constantly. And on hearing this, Narad moves with great compassion to him. He says, listen, Garuda, formidable, and I want you to listen to this too. Formidable is Sri Ram's Maya, his illusionary powers. That same Sri Ram has the energy around him, the Devi, that rubs even the wise people of their senses, bringing them under the sway of clouded judgment and utter infatuation. So Sri Rama praying to you, bless me, bless me, bless me. And that same God, we've discussed this, remember in Hinduism, you don't have, how you call it, the devil. So the same Sri Ram says, Devi, you are my Maya, go and test them. Put an impediment, put an obstacle in their path, and let's see if they will hold fast. He says that Devi, that Maya is formidable. She is very difficult to win. The same Maya that befooled me in the past seems to have held on to you. Remember, there's a discourse, you hear it in different texts, in the same Tulsidas, in the beginning you'll hear it, where Lord Vishnu makes Narad Muni face conform or contort into a monkey's face. And Narad Muni tells him, you will one day lose your wife as you made me lose this girl he fell in love with, and you will have to depend on an army of monkey, Vanar. So in the same way, now the delusion, the thing that is causing you to act inappropriate, think inappropriate, lose your faith, your trust, it is seemingly hitting you, and that infatuation is breaking your stride and trust in your God. Blinding infatuation has taken root in your heart, O Garuda, and it will not be readily extricated by the words of mine. I am not that powerful. I don't think I have the ability to do it. Therefore, go to my Father, that four-faced creator Brahma, oh winged God. You go there, and whatever he tells you, accept it. So saying, as we enter into Doha 59, so saying, the most enlightened sage went along his way, Narayana, Narayana, forgetting it, chanting Sri Ram's name, Lord Vishnu's name, recalling in his mind all that had went on with himself, with Sri Ram's coming. Narad Muni goes his way, and Garuda goes to Brahma. The king of birds went to the creator and told him about his doubt. On hearing the story, Brahma bowed his head to Sri Ram first, realizing the might play, the Maya of Sri Ram is at play, and he, overwhelmed with love, he says, the creator mused within himself, he thought about it. The seers and the sages, as well as the learned, all are dominated by this Maya, O Garuda. Unbounded is, without boundary, is the power of Sri Vishnu's Maya, and that often makes a puppet of me too. I become Brahma. There are many examples of this. There are many katha where Brahma ends up in trouble. He says, I fall prey to Maya, and you are asking me how to overcome the Maya. Why are they talking about Maya? Who is causing the doubt? I am seeing Sri Ram physically. I am very blessed. Lord Vishnu sits on my back. I am very blessed. But in my mind now, doubt has come. And where did it come from? It comes from the touch of Maya. Everything comes from God. But through this now, you have to overcome the Maya. That is what they are talking about. But Brahma said, I have figured out that solution yet. I am a victim. I am a victim just like you. Unbounded, the whole of this animate and inanimate creation evolved from me. And thereupon Brahma says in charming accent, this is why the entire creation is helpless just like me. Because I don't know the answer to the problem. The great Mahadev, Lord Shiva, is conversant with Sri Ram's glory. Therefore, O son of Vinata, go to him and ask Shankar Bhagwan about this problem. Do not go by anybody else. He and Sri Ram is one. Go and he will be able to guide you. There alone your doubts will be resolved, because he is not affected by the Maya the way I am. I hope everybody following it. On hearing Brahma's advice, the bird flew, heading to Kailash. As we enter into Doha 60, he came to at that time, Lord Shiva is telling Oma that he is heading to the house of Kubir. He was getting ready to leave Kailash, and Oma was inside the caves. But Garuda happens to come at the same time and reverently humbly bow his head to the feet of Lord Shiva. So blessed is this man that he could touch Mahadev. And then he says, I have a doubt. He tells him about Narad, he tells him about Brahman. This is why I'm reaching here. On hearing his submission, which was very politely explained himself. With love I replied to him, Garuda, you have met me as I am about to leave. How can I sit down now to give you instructions on how to overcome this doubt? Doubts are wholly resolved only when one enjoys the fellowship of saintly people for a long time. How do you overcome doubt and not knowing what to do? Lime, hang out, associate with people who know what to do. Know what to do? Good company, saintly company, people who will impact you not only genetically, not only the nature side, but the nurture side. Grow your children in a company of spirituality, and that child will absorb that practice like second nature. Grow them in a different environment, but you expect them to be saintly. Good luck with that. Step 1, get into that company and remain there. And in that company, listen to the story of Sri Hari Vishnu. having sung by sages in diverse ways, in different language, in different method and means, the sole theme of which at the beginning, in the middle and the end, the divinity that remains is Prabhu Shri Ram. I shall send you to a place where, oh Garuda, the story of Sri Hari Vishnu is recited every day. You go there and listen. As you hear it, all your doubts will vanish and you will develop intense love for the feet, the charan of Sri Ram. We spoke about what is charan, from the ankle to the toe, the foot. That charan Amrit, you know the word charan? Rama Charana Sukadai, O Bhajumana Rama Charana Sukadai. The love that I have for the foot, that is why it is bowed to the foot of the Devta. Padma Sevanam, another form of devotion. He says when you go there within your heart, from inside, God will start to work. Sometimes we go to prayers, we hear the Baba, we hear the singing, and we say it inspires you. But is it true inspiration? That is an external factor bombarding you. I'm listening to the radio, but take off the radio, change the radio station, and you don't hear that positivity. Then the stimulus, what is triggering the tears, what is triggering you to think, what is triggering you to feel, goes. So you stop it. You stop thinking, you stop feeling that way. But when, from listening to the radio, the Baba, the Katha, it lights something inside you and God starts to work from inside, come out. You could be in what environment, you could be where, you could be whatever you are doing, and you're here, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Like in the temple, in the taxi, at job, in the bathroom, you're bathing Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram. He's working from the inside of you, coming out. So you cannot help when somebody meet you, how are you going, man? Have a blessed day. God bless you today. Don't worry, you want to curse me, God bless you, God forgive you. And everything is God, 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 God. That love is coming from inside. Only in satsang. Satsang is company of saintly people talking goodly and godly things. Only in company of saintly people discussing nothing else but the katha of God and good things, one can rid the self of errors, mistakes, misconceptions. Other talks coming together with people, goodly people, godly people, religious people, but you're talking, other things, gossip, etc. You for yourself, you are not in any way interested in listening to the katha of Prabhu. Then you take the opportunity to listen to God and God and you lose it. Until one person has dispersed from his heart all the doubts and all the miscommunication and misconception, you will never have deep-rooted affection for Sri Ram's feet. The Lord of Raghu cannot be found except through love. Even though you may practice yoga, austerity, penance, vows, you practice cultivating spiritual wisdom, not only secular wisdom. You become dispassionate, or equilibrium, it rules your life. You are not crazily happy and then you get crazily sad, but you tend to be, more or less balanced. In this way, in the north, go, there's a beautiful mountain called Nilagiri, where lives the amicable Kag-bhusundi, highly conversant with the part of devotion to Prabhu Shri Ram. He's very enlightened, full of good qualities, and he's very aged. He's without rest, without end, he's reciting Shri Ram's narrative. Noble birth of different species reverently listen there. They go there for that. Go and hear the many virtues of Sri Hari Vishnu. Your distress born of infatuation will disappear. You cannot do it on your own. You have to get guidance from an instructor, from a guru. Go to the right guru to get it. When I had thus told him everything, in those terms, God bowed to my feet again and departed with joy, in order that he was going to get the guidance. Uma, understand this, because I am also knowledgeable. I am also very capable. I could have answered this question in 2 seconds. But this talk, I explained why Shiva did not give Garuda the answer there and then. I did not instruct him myself because of the grace of Sri Ram, the Lord of the Raghu. I had come to know that the reason Garuda had this problem is because of Garuda's attitude. He had given vent to his pride on some occasion. When I say pride, I am the best devotee. I am the closest in terms of Garuda in this example. I am the closest to Prabhu Sri Hari Vishnu. Vishnu Bhagwan is my friend. I know him the best. That pride, he let it come from his body and his mouth. And now that same Vishnu Baba wanted to humble him. He wanted to cure him. If pride come like a sickness, like a disease that is holding back the devoted individual, that have to come out in order for you to grow. So Lord Vishnu wants to put him on a path to purge the sin out of his body. Partly there was another reason as well. As birds follow the language, they communicate with birds and they would understand each other better than if someone from a different species was talking. Another way to look at that, there are pundits and there are pundits, and there are pundits that are able to speak the language that you understand. Whilst people barray about Brahman in the personality, because the criteria cannot only be Brahman and non-Brahman. The criteria has to be the person that you have a connection with, because when that person speak, you feel an affinity. I could understand, I could listen, I love to work with that Pandit or that Guruji, because to be honest, there are devotees who like shortcut and it have Baba who like shortcut, no secret. It have people who like to do things the correct way, sattvic way, and it have Pandits and Gurujis that will give you the correct way without any adulteration to the rules. They will tell you frank comment. When husband and wife copulate and come together, before you return to your vrat, make sure when having your shower, clean your body via bathing with Gayatri mantra while that water falling on your body. When honeymoon finish, know how to clean back your body without fear. Without fear that if I say that, understand why I'm saying it, without fear that if I say that, oh God, how the Pandit said that. But if I don't say it, how are you going to know? That's the truth. For all the elders who just thought I shouldn't talk about the sex life between husband and wife, tell me if I as a Pandit shy from the brutal truth that young people need today, how will they get the truth? How will they get the access to that information? Send me a message and tell me how to do that, other than I am talking truth. He says in this way, if he goes and he sits together with Kag-bhusundi, who is a crow, Devi, he would be able to understand and relate to each other because of their shared wings and the way they eat and what they eat and how they fly, their mode of life. There would be a connectivity, and for that reason Garuda might accept the knowledge better, differently. Even Garuda, the crest of all, the crest jewel of devotees, where a person is shown that you could attain this height of devotion and service and relationship with Mahavishnu, the mount of Lord Vishnu. The person who is deluded currently by Maya, just as many people on this earth are deluded, he goes to make what? He has to make the step. In this example, who is making the step? Who is making the step? Garuda is doing it to find the answer, to get rid of this delusion. The Lord of Maya beguiles even Shiva, Brahma at different times, and the person who is the boss? Lord Vishnu. Garuda reached very quickly to where this place called Nilagiri reach, and he goes close to Bhushundi, who is of unhampered intellect, possessing uninterrupted devotion for Lord Vishnu. At the side of the mountain, something was starting to play inside of Garuda. He already, you know, when you reach in a religious place, you start to feel different. You get quiet inside. You're not talking. You're not distracted. You don't want to get interrupted. You don't want to bother with the phone. You just, you're going at Tirat. You're going all these great places that God made, and you find peace. And in the same way, Garuda is finding that where there was corruption within himself, where he was deluded, where he was feeling all how, where he was anxious, he's feeling different. And he went and he took bath in the gut, he drank the water, and he went under the banyan tree where all the birds were collecting for that day's discourse. Where the Katha of Sri Ram is about to be discussed. Bhushundi, as he was about to start, he realizes the king is in front of him, king of the birds, Garuda, that arrived with his massive form, and he gets up and with humility rejoices the presence of the king. And he says, Rajan, Prabhu, it is for our blessing that you with your high status, you have come to join with us today. It is with us utmost reverence I am offering you a seat and a part to sit to listen to our little congregation, our little conversation. May you please accept our hospitality. After offering with love, the crow sat on his side, and he is ready now to give his discourse. Kag-bhusundi says to Garuda, my lord, I have been blessed by your sight today. Now let me do what you bid me to do. What object have you come for? O master, O king, what is the purpose of your visit? You are the pity of blessedness. You are the person who helps Mahavishnu. How great are you? And Garuda says, I've come because Lord Shiva speaks so highly of you. I have come because I have a doubt within me, and it is my privilege to see you at the very sight of you, at the very sight of your hermitage. My infatuation, my anxiety, my doubt, my misconception, they are starting to come out of me. I can feel myself, feel very confident in my beliefs of God, that He could take various forms, that He could be in different forms. I feel different just by being here and being in your company, and you have not started yet. My dear Father, narrate to me with reverence. Don't leave out a piece the story of Sri Ram, which is delightful, which is the cure for all forms of suffering. This is what I've come for, and this is what I beg you again and again. The moment Bhushundi heard Garuda's prayer, with humility, sincerity, love, delight, and pious, the supreme joy filled his body. Because of the work of Mahavishnu, Kag-bhusundi is given the opportunity to once again uplift people by giving this dissertation of the history of Sri Ram. First of all, with Devotion Bhavani, he gave an elaborate description of the lake, the Ramcharitmanas, that word. He tells him about Narad's terrible infatuation in the building up to the Ram story, Ravan's incarnation, his history, his family. He starts to describe, and he's given how did this come about, why is he so powerful, how is Ram's Leela forming in the early part, the whole story with Dasrath and how Dasrath was coming. After he sang the story of how Sri Ram was, after the Putreshti Yagya, and how they had made the Payasam, the Charu, the sweet rice, kheer, and it was shared, and then boom, baby born. And then we counted with deep interest the childlike sport of Prabhu Sri Ram. Remember, when you think of Sri Ram, how do you think about him? How do you worship him? It is very common in today's world that we have an affinity to the Bal Gopal form of Krishna, the rock, the hammock form. But do you know that the Bal form of Sri Ram also has a lot of benefit? And this is what Kag-bhusundi is about to talk about. After narrating the boyish sports of various kinds, of the different days, more than what we discussed, details, day to day, and on Wednesday he did this, and on Thursday he did that, and Friday he did this, the rapture of the soul. With utmost feelings, he tells Garuda about when Vishwamitra came, when Sri Ram got married. Then he narrated the episode where the installation of Prince Regent, where he becomes the crown prince of Ayodhya. Then he tells him about the interruption in the festivities because Raja Dasrath, based on the want of Kaikeyi, he has to send him to the forest, and so he's going, and he starts to tell him, as you know, many slok about the same things we know, the mischief that Jayanta, son of Indra, when they go into the forest, the meeting with Atri Muni, the meeting with Ansuya, all these different moments, all the different demons, all the different, when he meets, when he has to meet Marich, when he has to meet Guha, when he has to destroy Bali, all the different Sampati, Jatayu episodes are being listed. Bhushund then narrated on hearing the building of the bridge, the reconciliation with Sita, the reunion, and the coming to the end of Ramraj, where he's ruling on the throne for how many years, Lao, Kush, all these different things. In this way, Kag-bhusundi narrated the whole story that I have already told you, O Bhavani. Shiva is telling Bhavani. Please understand who is talking. Who is talking? When he heard the whole of Sri Ram's Katha, Garuda's mind was filled with joy, and he spoke as follows. He called him Guruji, Kag-bhusundi. Guruji meaning you are my teacher now. You teach me something. Don't mind I is king and crown. It come like when the Pandit, when I was 14, 15 years and I started to read, I remember in those days I was reading a lot of Garuda Puran because of I was sitting and listening to Pandit Anand, and what you are taught, that is what you emulate. If somebody teach you to make Pach Parsad, that is what you know. If somebody teach you to make Batasa good, you will follow those steps. You can't do apples and then expect grapes to come out. We sometimes do that in parenting and it doesn't work. People are shocked. I never make time for my child, but now my child reached the age and look, Baba, they don't want the idea. Why? They won't throw that. They didn't see the joy in the temple. The temple, the prayers, the puja by your house, the little Hawan, mommy leading in arati, that was a burden to you. So it has become a burden to them. He says, my doubts have gone, and now I have heard the whole of Sri Ram's narrative. By your grace, O Kag-bhusundi, I have developed devotion for the feet of Sri Ram. A mighty bewilderment possessed me when I saw the Lord bound in that battlefield. Sri Ram is knowledge. He is bliss personified. How can he be let down or in some way embarrassed because I had to help, because I was called to help, because I was called upon to assist? He says, today I understand better. Today I know better. As I found his ways to closely resemble those of the human being, a grievous doubt did arise in my soul. Now I regard that error of mine as a blessing, because of that doubt I got to come into contact Brahma, Shiva, yes, and then I came into contact with what? A devotee like you. When you get to meet somebody who is of a higher stature, and they put you in a place where you are encouraged, or you are in some way pushed to do more. Imagine children. I don't want to sing, and it have parents who will say, well, the child don't want to sing, don't force the child. But then it also had time that same child didn't want to drink the bottle, did not want to get the injection, did not want to go to school, did not want to pick up the book. In all fairness, they didn't want to get off the bed, they didn't want to bathe, they didn't want to brush their teeth. That is the child. That's a child. They will be fair. You give them the rope to do what they want, they will show you they could do it. They want to eat chocolate 12 o'clock in the night. That is what they want to do. But the parent's job, it is the remit of the teacher. First God is my first teacher. The job of the parent is to say what is good for you to do, to encourage good things, uplifting things, healthy things. So when this type of doubt arose in me, and I realized this error turns now, it transforms into a blessing, because I was able to meet with somebody who could give me that encouragement, as it were, to do better and raise me up. When I think I am good, because this is the pride part, I've reached the heights. There's only me and Mahavishnu here, and I think to myself, Arjun had this episode in Anand Ramayan with Hanuman Baba and the red flag, the flag. Why the Hanuman flag so high? That discourse, the breaking of the pride, happens in different discourse with great people, great individuals. Great people do make great mistakes too. You and I could make the mistake when we feel we know it all and we cannot learn anymore. Oh boy, He says, because I met you, today I have been bestowed with the favor of understanding my God further, and I have overcome and passed his test. For he alone, who is terribly oppressed by the hot sun, can appreciate the blessing of a tree that will give shade. If you don't know what hot sun feel like, you will never appreciate leave the tree, let it grow, let the branches grow, or being happy at the sight of a tree. Oh, that tree is giving shelter. That tree is allowing birds to live, animals to graze under the tree. A human being could go and take a nap. In the example, you will never appreciate these gifts that God are putting in your way. You'll pass the tree and say, oh, it's just a tree. Had I not fallen prey to this infatuation, how would it have been possible for me to meet you, O revered sir? How could I get the opportunity to hear the wonderful katha of Sri Ram, Sri Hari Vishnu, if you didn't sing it with all those details? The Ved, the Tantras, the Puranas, etc. are of one point. So declare the Siddhas, sages, different people, in very clear terms. Fellowship of genuine, goodly, godly, saintly people, true satsang, is only attained when Sri Ram gives you the favor. This is the catch. That's how it works in there, hand in hand. We said before, when I go to satsang, I will achieve Sri Ram. But in order for you to get the satsang, for you to be here, for you to reach here, Sri Ram has to give you that ability. Nothing happens without God's favor or permission. When you're going Shivratri and you just pull back the index finger and you put a drop of water here, you're facing east early in the morning. So you're Narayana Swami, you're rising on the horizon. Today is Shivratri, and I wish you bless me with the health and the ability to do the vrat. For example, Shivratri, bless me not to get distracted, upset, or in any way broken, sickly, cramping, that I have to stop my prayers. Bless me to get through. Boom. And you would see the entire day, the entire night, the next morning, your sugar, your pressure, your distraction. That time the spouse playing nice, the children working like, a well-oiled machine. And you have a nice day, allowing you to prepare now for the purification that God has in store for you. Lord Shiva, who want you, he says in all these texts, fellowship of great genuine saint is attained by those who Sri Ram regard to give that favor by his grace. And I am in the party of the Doha 68. Yes, 68. In the Chopai tree. By Sri Ram's grace, I have been blessed with your sight, Darshanam. By his grace, Shravanam, I listen to your words, and because of that, because of the influence, because of the Diksha, invisible energy that is flowing on the person's body, the doubt, the bad thoughts, the weak thoughts, those things, they're gone. On hearing Garuda's speech, so modest, affectionate, the crow, Kag-bhusundi, was greatly rejoicing at heart. Every hair on his body stood erect, and tears came to his eyes. O Bhavani, saints reveal their profound secret when they find the right listener, who is not only intelligent, mentally capable, virtuous, but pious, but they have that divinity, that devotion inside of them. And when the person has the right attitude, and they could come and give that attitude with earnest question, usually in the form of a question, the teacher, the guru, wants to give the information. Always remember, pundits are looking on. This spiritual knowledge, maybe we sometimes think, this is my knowledge, this is my copy of this Ramayana. The spirituality is not really ours. Everything comes from Sri Ram, and you know what? One day we go leave, and this will belong to somebody else. This belongs to Prabhu Sri Ram. We are just a vessel. The parents are just a vessel. The school teacher is just a vessel to pass on, to ripple effect, roll like a wave. Send it now, and then somebody will send back the same thing, and somebody will teach somebody else it. But you do your part in the leela that God put you here for, to pass on Him knowledge. Be the voice that gives somebody the words of encouragement. Be the voice that gives the teaching, and you would save a life. Kag-bhusundi, listening to the interests of this listener, he says, you who have not a little bit, but a lot of affection for Lord Vishnu, you are in every way entitled to homage. You are the recipient of Sri Ram's favor. I have neither doubt nor infatuation. I have no delusion. It was only an excuse, my Lord, for doing me a kindness by sending you, O King of Birds. Under the pretext of some doubt, Sri Ram has conferred upon me an honor to teach and to help you to recite his katha again. There is nothing in this world that is peculiar. It is all understood to be part and parcel of the bidding of God, the Leela at work. O King of Birds, for the celestial sage Narad, Mahadev, Brahma, they are all, as well as Sanak, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar, all of them, they are ruled by the spirit of creation, the spirit of time. Which of these have not been blinded by infatuation? Again, is there anyone in this world that has not been made a puppet by the Maya of Lord Vishnu Sri Ram? This Maya makes us so mad that we become dangerous to our own self, where we chase behind the wrong types of enjoyment, where our hearts cannot be trusted, when we become inflamed and engrossed in anger and hatred, jealousy, racial, prejudicial thoughts. When all of this is happening, is there any sage? You think back to yourself. Is there any Pandit? Is there any Seva, Swamini, Pandita? Is there any person, hero, seer, man of learning, man of virtue in this world whom maybe greed has not caused them to become betrayed in the eyes of their journey to God, but they have made mistakes? Again, whom has become prideish or become perverse because of pride? They have been defeated by the same test of Sri Ram. It is not a separate entity that is testing you. It is that same one God. Just as how he tells Sri Ram, Swami, you use your rays to warm the earth, the surface of the earth. Use your rays to allow photosynthesis to happen so that vegetation can live. In the same way, he tells Maya, go and test my children. Simple language. Who amongst us is not sometimes without equilibrium? Our mind is cast with doubt. We lose the balance and we become affected by the different things that serve to harm the body, the different gunas, the different things. Who is without the stain or the strain of pride and arrogance? For this reason, like a fever that affects the person, making their body weak, marring their existence. When people have been such affected by the test of the Maya of Mahavishnu, it is only by consuming the person's attention and energy and effort to the feet of Prabhu Sri Ram. And in the same way, just as it might have a big piece of wood, and the wood, how you call it, wood lice, the termite, he comes and he eats, and that same piece of wood could be transformed to powder. It is destroyed. The person's mind who is beyond the pollution of the different desires, the desires to have continuity, to have legacy, to have children, to have desires, different type of desires. What? Wealth, to have the desire of fame. When the person is able to overcome this retinue or the three hands of Maya, everything I do for my children. I thief for my children. I rob for my children hungry, for example. I'm doing this for money for what? For family, for establishment, for the house, fame. I sing in the bhajan, I play in the drum, I in the jug, I real go satsang, I fast vegetarian, I just make pulse out of it, but I'm doing it for fame. Then you are going to lose. The Maya is pulling you, and it is affecting your growth. It has happened to Lord Shiva, it has happened to Brahma at different moments. But all these creatures that are being polluted and being broken in this way by things like hypocrisy, deceit, heresy, this Maya can become under control. She is the handmaiden, she is the servant of Sri Ram. And when this is understood, the reality of what this Maya is able to do, and how could it be stopped? By the presence of the grace of Prabhu Sri Ram. I want you to remember this. This discourse is using, we started with Kag-bhusundi and we've started with Garuda. But what is the problem? We need to get rid of the doubt. The doubt is caused by Maya. Maya is doing this because Sri Ram, she boss tells she, go and test him, go and break him, mash up that pride inside of him. I do not want my devotee to spoil. And in the same way, when Sri Ram's grace be upon a person, it is declared with confidence. And I'm in Doha 71A and B, as we cover in some ground tonight. That same Maya, who is capable of making this entire world a puppet. The person, instead of acting stable, rational, calm, the person becomes greedy, arrogant, and violent. Without any physical touch, they become their own enemy. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard somebody has an addiction to sugar or addiction to alcohol, drugs, bad habits, lustful ways, and who is causing you to do it? Who is pushing you to do it? Who is forcing you to become addicted to driving the car fast and not wanting to slow down? You're cutting the corner straight with speed. Who is forcing you to do that? I am doing it. But this Maya is crowded. It is as if God, I say my prayers for this child today. This child blind. This child is blind. Oh my God. The child don't want to hear reason. This child don't want to listen to good advice. Dear God, help my child. Lord Vishnu, put the Maya that is making him blind, making her deaf. It's my life, Mom. You had your time. Don't tell me how to live. Don't tell me here go. Don't tell me don't check the patra. Don't tell me I go suffer. Boom. 5 years down the road, they're suffering. Oh God, Mom, if I didn't know that time, Maya puts down the person and they come out of this daze as if it were a little, a dream. I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't think about what I was doing. Unable, unknown to anybody, Maya dances around each person, and like an actress or an actor on the stage of this world, the Lord, as if the stage was built on his eyebrow right here, we are doing our bidding, O Garuda. But such is Sri Ram, who is beyond the concepts that me and you have, beyond all the existence of different things, knowledge, bliss, wisdom. He's personified these things, the home of beauty and strength. He is able to break Maya and without much effort control her. When a person is given the opportunity by faith, like what you have been going through, you are able to transcend this little sticky point in your life, this moment of test, by becoming more and more attached to him, and then she has to let you go because he comes like the light and she is the darkness. Maya is the darkness that is testing you. Beyond the realm of Prakriti, blessings personified, the Lord that is dwelling, when he starts activating your heart and his energy is pushing outward, the bad, the test, those people that want to see what you will do or hear what you will say, or any job, any family, different things are happening, that Sri Ram burns away, like the sun burning away the darkness, burns away these doubts, the little things that we cause ourselves, like when we becoming possessed like a puppet. For the sake of his devotee, as we'll stop on Doha 72, for the sake of his devotee, the divine Lord Sri Ram took the form as an earthly sovereign, as this powerhouse on earth, performed a lot of sacred deeds in the manner of an ordinary mortal, like an actor, and whilst acting on the stage, assumes various guise, and this guise exhibits different characteristics: happiness, love, attachment, and he himself in truth is stable and the same. but he puts on a play for me and you to see an example, to see the show, to get entertainment. We want to see him. I know his murti has a bow and arrow, so I identify Sri Ram with that way. Do you know his work? Do you know his teachings? Do you have faith in him? That murti is important, that temple is very important. But if Sri Ram is a stranger to you, if you don't even have a Ramayana in your house where you pick up and you might try to read 2 words, it's a stranger to you. I believe in Sri Ram, but what do you believe in? Do you believe in his power, his ability, or is it that you only believe in the murti that's standing like a statue in your prayer room, standing like a statue in that temple in India, and you would never utilize, make contact, listen to his teachings so that the changes in your life could happen? Today, as we pause here, as we come on the end of this session, tomorrow night we continue with our second session. I would like you to share the satsang. I would like you to share with me your comments, your thinking, your confusion, your experiences. Are you a puppet? Are you being played? Are you playing yourself? Talk it out. Talking, communicating is good. For those of you looking on in Sankhya, send me a message. My number is on the screen. Send me a WhatsApp. Let us take our satsang home. Let's take our satsang and put it to practice in our life, because we have to break free of the little things that are holding us down. We don't want to be a spiritual puppet, a human puppet. We don't want to do that. Sri Ram is the only way. Our Ramayana has the power and the ability. This is why we are celebrating the Sri Ram is coming back. Where is he coming? He's coming home. So I'm going to light my diya. I'm going to offer my dar. I'm going to sing his bhajan. And we have been singing, I don't really sing too often, but I'm singing with the perspective of training, really for you to learn the meaning of it. So when the other Babas who might have the better voice, when they sing it, I hope you could appreciate it, because Jandheri, dear God, I'm lost like Garuda, I'm lost, I don't know. Because of ignorance, I don't know how to come out, I don't know how to find the path I'm supposed to choose. Gyan ka suraj chamka de, Bhagavan, light the way. You come as the light, you are the light, you are the diya. Light the way and show me, give me the drishti to see which way to go, and I will find my way to you. I will come out of this illusion, I will come out of this doubt, I will come out and overcome all this trouble. I will rise above it, and when you see tests come, I'll be ready. I will be willing, I will be able, but it is only possible by your grace. So if you support me, I could do it, but I cannot do it without you, Sri Ram. I cannot do it without you, Prabhu Vishnu. Today, as I conclude, I hope that you have absorbed some of this Uttarkhand, Tulsidas Ramcharitramanas. I hope in the Dohas that we have done, that you have benefited, that you have learned. We started, I believe, in Doha. We were in around Doha 50, thereabout, where Mother started off with her voicing of the confusion, and we've ended up at Doha 72 as we pervade this Uttarakhand for the next couple of nights. Please, if you have a question, send it. Don't just let this fall on deaf ears, please. I believe, you see, when you get one person as a pundit, as a Vyas, you get one person that is really interested in their discourse, in their God. You could take this and you will enjoy it. It will become so easy to do my job, because the person now makes it interesting. You have an interested student, a teacher could teach, a teacher would teach. As we come to the end, everybody please join your hands as we do a couple of verses from our Vidai Geet, our Visarjan part. Katha Visarjan ho tuhe, suno veera Hanuman, jo jan jaase aaya hai, te करो पयान. जय जय राजा राम की, जय लक्ष्मण बलवान, जय कपीस सुग्रीव की, जय अंगर जय हनुमान, जय जय काग भुषुंड की, जय गिरी उमा महेश, जय ऋषि भरद्वाज की, जय तुलसी अवधेश। कथा भी सर्जर हो तुहे, सुनो वीर हनुमान, जा जन जा से आया है, तेतः करो बयान। As we draw to the end of our first session, I hope you've enjoyed these discourses. My intention of reading this is to light something within you. I want you to testify, I did read from the text. This is how our Ramayana, our satsang is supposed to be. This is what is supposed to give. When you listen and you are listening to the words, the only thing I didn't do was sing too much. I did not want to waste time going through a language that would be over our heads. It sounds nice, and I agree, but we are reading word to word, but I did not, because of the amount of information, we did not have the time to waste, and I hope you understand. Tomorrow night I'll sing more, don't worry. As we continue for these couple of nights about Kag-bhusundi, get ready for tomorrow night. I hope you enjoyed your satsang. God bless you. Each and every person, God bless you. If this one has any value, if his words, if God could hear me tonight, wherever you are, whatever you are going through, I pray that Prabhu Sri Ram and all the devatas reach to you. If you are in the hospital, if you're going through your share of sickness, if you are worrying where the next dollar or ounce of flour is going to come from, if you lost your job, if you are in your job but you're going through some hardships and some battles, let Sri Ram stand with you and fight. Let Hanuman lift that burden of, that mountainous burden of worries. Let Hanuman Baba bring the healing Sajivan herb that could bring the remedy and resolution in your house. Where there is no peace, bring peace. But it is bound that you have, just as how Garuda flew from one place hunting for the answer. And Lord Shiva says, I had the answer and I could have given it to him, but change, he has to mill it out of him. He has to bring change. You have to change. If you get the answer, you get the help sometimes too easy, you revert to your bad ways. And this is the explanation for why bad things sometimes happen to good people. God wants to take you from here to here, and a transformation has to happen. Don't cause yourself to suffer too much. Realize the change that needs to happen and make the step. Do it for yourself. Let's all put our hands together as we end tonight's satsang. See you tomorrow night. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva, tvameva sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Together. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem se bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki jai. Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Siyapati Ramachandra ki jai. Sab koi Sitaram. Sitaram everybody. God bless you. God bless your family, and see you tomorrow night. Bye everybody. Sit down.